All right, we are back on Morning Line. Final segment this morning. We thought we'd go just with your calls and comments on Facebook at newschannel5.com if you want to jump in. And we'll start off with a couple callers that waited through those segments. And I think Sheila is up first. Good morning, Sheila.
Good morning.
How can I help you, ma'am?
I was calling to see if you get a good morning.
Go ahead, talk to us on the phone. There's a delay, so
Okay.
just go ahead and talk.
Okay, if you get a VA check, a widow's pension check, and you still working too, do you get a stimulus check?
I would think so, yes. I would think so, yes. And you'll probably get it. Do you get your check direct deposit, or do they mail it to you?
I get a direct deposit.
That's what's going to happen. Yeah, I have no indication that someone like Sheila, with what she's doing and that as a worker, there's no exception. The only question was those on certain types of Social Security, would they or would they not? And we're hearing more and more now that it appears all of them will get checks, okay? Again, we'll find out for sure once this passes, but based on what Sheila just said, I have no reason to believe that she would not get a check. Let's go to Scott. Scott, good morning. Hi, Scott.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. What's on your mind?
Well, I was really concerned that there's a big red button to hit to shut down the flow of money, but there's no big red button to hit to shut down the city of New York and all the major hubs, Los Angeles and everything else, when something like this happens. You know, I was watching at the beginning nurses who showed up to someone's house to give them a corona test in full hazmat, and then throw that hazmat gear right past the face of a state trooper who drove them there into the red bag. If these were true professionals, they would be professionals in the control of disease spread. And to take your completely, what you assume to be infected outfit off and throw it past the face and then ride in the car with them, by the way, after that, it's like no one's taking it seriously. This is very serious.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I did not see that case of it. If that happened, that certainly was wrong. At every level, you have to be aware of where you've been and who you've been exposed to and be very, very careful on it. And with that regard, I mean, Brenda here is saying, hey, you're talking about the election now. Media are proponents of fear, so just keep adding to it. Brenda, if you're not afraid, you should be, okay? This is a very, very serious thing. Is it the end of the world? No. Is it something that we can deal with? Yes. But anyone who isn't even slightly a little bit concerned about this has a real problem. And a lot of people want to go back to work. I want everyone to go back to work. Our newsroom is empty because everyone's working from home. I'm lonely here. I want them to come back. But out of an abundance of caution here at News Channel 5, we're practicing social distancing and we're working and delivering you the news without this. But everyone talking about the media is fear-mongering. Yeah, we're not fear-mongering. We're delivering you the information that we get from the experts each and every day. If that scares you, I'm sorry, but those are the facts. Let's go next to Nancy. Nancy, good morning. What's on your mind?
Hey, Nick, this is Nancy. I just caught the tail end of I'm on SSI.
Yes.
And like you said, they would probably come out later with it. And if you've got a bank account, it would be automatically put in your account, correct?
That's the way, yeah, if that's the way your checks go in typically, and almost everyone has direct deposit these days.
Yes.
Yes.
I just want to say also, God bless you, and thank Channel 5. Y'all are my go-to. I don't watch any other news, and you are so awesome.
Hey, thank you for your call. And as I reported just a little bit before, there was some question as to whether or not SSI recipients would get a check. Now we're getting news, maybe just that developed overnight with regard to what modifications they made to the plan, that SSI recipients will get checks. Again, I have to hedge that, and there may be some, depending on your personal earnings and how that all plays out and what you're collecting, that may not. But it looks like they're trying to encompass everyone here as much as possible. And so, you know, we'll know more, but I'm hopeful for people like her because I know those of you on SSI could really use a check. Let's go next to, I think, let's see, Fran, I believe. Hi, Fran. Go ahead, Fran.
Good morning.
What's on your mind, ma'am?
I want to ask you something. Something has been bothering me for a long time. Maybe you could answer it for me. Okay, if we're supposed to keep social distancing, has anybody thought what a catastrophe it would be if this coronavirus broke out in the places where Donald Trump had these people in these cages?
Well, that goes to not just, it's any security. I thought you were going to say maybe along the lines of a prison or a jail. because you're right. That's a big deal. And that's something I'm going to be looking into more today on a story I'm working on with regard to some new developments about the early release of inmates. I mean, and anytime there's people kept confined in an area like a jail or a prison, if it gets in there, it's going to be a big, big bad deal. So far as I know, there have not been any prisons or jails where they've had it run through the jail yet, or that there have been many confirmed cases. As far as I know, none in Tennessee yet. But all it takes is one, and boy, it'll spread. Someone asking on Facebook, how do we pay back these checks? And our understanding, as it stands right now, is this is not a loan. This is a check that will be yours to use as you please. It's a gift in kind, I suppose. Whether or not some of the monies potentially could be taxed at a later date, I don't know. When they determine, by the way, whether or not you qualify based on your earnings, income, and all of that, they'll base it on your most recent tax return filing. And so if you've already filed for 2019, they'll base it on reviewing that. Many of us now know that we don't have to file until July 15th, a delay of that, not April 15th this year, but July 15th. So if the last filing you did was last year, then the government will use last year's tax filings to determine whether or not you get the benefit. All right, let's take Marie real quick. Marie, good morning. What's on your mind, Marie?
Hello.
Hi, Marie. Go ahead.
Yes.
What's your question?
Oh, you didn't say anything on the TV. I'm calling in regards to two things. One is an elderly friend of mine. She gets a pension check, which she's supposed to get tomorrow. Are they going to be giving out their people's pension checks? If not, then would she get this check? And the other thing is, I am a disabled veteran, and will my veteran check at the beginning of the next month, will that come in?
Yeah, as far as I know, unless there's some issue with those offices because of the coronavirus, this stimulus plan has absolutely nothing to do with a pension check, or has nothing to do with your veterans benefit check, has nothing to do with your Social Security check if you're delivering it, or if you're collecting that. All of those should still be coming as we sit here speaking right now. None of that has changed. All of that will still keep coming. What you're going to get is a one-time check or direct deposit from the stimulus. And so, yeah, it shouldn't affect any of it. And what you just described there, I think both you and your friend will be in line to go ahead and get checks on this. And I see some people on Facebook frustrated. They go, well, we don't know anything for sure right now. Where have we heard this before? You're right. We don't. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you definitively. But until the House passes the stimulus plan and the president signs it, all we know is what they have to this point. And the bottom line is it could change between now and then. So you're just going to have to sit tight. But we're trying to tell you what we do know is in the plan now. Just keep in mind, that could change before it's finalized. We'll take a break, come back, and wrap things up right after this.